Hey, what is up guys, it's Arodiad here. Welcome to episode 4 of my Pokemon Showdown series. In this episode, I have another random battle for you guys. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into this. So, I am on the far end, and this my opponent leads off with Pangoro. I go for the Basculin because that's pretty much, it's kind of forcing you to, but I switch out hoping that he's going to go for a Fighting type move, but he predicts it goes for the Stone Edge and takes out my Noctowl first turn. So I'm not looking too good. So I go to my Typhlosion knowing I can outspeed, go for the Eruption. However, this Pangoro is sashed. However, he goes for the Parting Shot, so I am still in full Eruption range. He goes into his Pokemon, knowing that this is a Water type, I do not want to stay in. So I want to go into my Linoone. So he goes for the Thunderbolt, my Linoone takes it perfectly, as I get some leftovers recovery. I go for the Substitute, hoping that he goes for either the Draco Meteor or switches out. He goes for the Draco Meteor, so his special attack is lowered, so I'm thinking, okay, this isn't bad, this isn't bad. So I decide to go for another Substitute as he switches out into his Electivire. I know Electivire can get cross-chopped, so that's what I'm kind of worried about. However, I am sitting pretty with leftovers, so I go for the Player Off just to get some damage off, get the critical hit with 42% health, so not doing crazy amount, but he misses the cross-chop. So, this turn I go for the Player Off again, don't do enough for it to be a 3-hit KO, because I do 27. He goes for the Flamethrower, I do survive it, and okay, so I switch out, sorry, I drew a blank, and I got one of my Basculin predicting either a Flamethrower or a Cross-Chop, but he misses the Cross-Chop, so I go for the Double Edge, takes out his Electivire, and his Electivire pretty much did nothing this whole battle. So, I go into my, he goes into his Rotom, and I switch out because this is a Grass type, and I go into my Muck because I am packing the Fire Punch. He goes for the Will-O-Wisp, doesn't hit me, which is good because I don't want to be statist. And he goes for the Volt Switch and switches out into his Palkia, probably predicting the Fire Punch. So I go for the Fire Punch, does a big 6 damage, and his leftovers just, even though it was a big 6 damage, heals him back up to full. I decide to switch out and go into my Linoone. So he goes for the Fire Blast, almost takes my Linoone out, but not entirely. So I decide to go for the Play Rough just to let this guy die, because he was sent in here for Death Fodder in the beginning anyway. So he goes for the Fire Blast, takes out my Linoone. So I'm thinking, I'm not in a bad position right now, so I decided to switch out into my Dragalge, thinking I'd be faster. However, I was completely wrong, and he goes for the Draco Meteor, critical hit, and it kills me. So I've wasted 2 Pokemon in this battle so far, so it's not looking too good for me. It's 5-3. I go back into my Basculin. He just has to switch out with all of his stat drops, and he goes into his Rotom. I go for the Double Edge, and it does quite a bit of damage considering this is a Basculin. And he heals up. I go for the Double Edge again as he decides to go for the Will-O-Wisp. The Will-O-Wisp does hit, so my attack is cut in half, which is not good at all. So, but I do decide to go for the Double Edge again, thinking that if I swap Basculin out, he's going to be useless. Does kill the Rotom, so I'm like, okay, this isn't bad, this isn't bad. So he decides to switch out into his Pangoro for some reason, thinking he could outspeed or something. I go for the Double Edge, and his Pangoro is down. So that's now it is a 3-3, and Basculin is killing everything. So he goes into his Masquerain with the Intimidate, so I'm not only burnt, but attack dropped. I go for the Double Edge, get the critical hit, so the attack drop doesn't matter, but the burn does, I'm still pretty sure. And he goes for the Sticky Web, and the burn kills me. So I go into my Typhlosion, hoping I could outspeed and go for the Eruption, but I can't. He goes for the Hydro Pump, but misses. I go for the Eruption and take out the Masquerain. So I'm like, alright, 2-on-2, I can do this, I can do this. He goes on his Palkia, I don't want to stay in. Oh no, I do want to stay in apparently, thinking I could outspeed and go for the Eruption. That was a weird play for me, but one of the main reasons why I wanted to put this up is because Typhlosion's in this, and I love Typhlosion. But I switch out into my Muck, knowing that he's going to go for another T-Bolt, and I can take that better with Muck. So he's healing up. I decide to go for the Shadow Sneak, is it? Shadow Sneak, yep, because I have a speed drop and hoping for that poison, which I do get. He goes for the Outrage, does quite a bit of damage on me considering. So he's getting withered away. He goes for another Outrage since he's locked in. However, I go for the Rest, and I have all my health back. However, I am not Chesto buried. So he's going to be confused and hit himself, not hit himself, but get hurt by poison. So he goes for the Draco Meteor, does quite a bit of damage considering, and I go for the Sleep Talk, because this guy carries Sleep Talk. However, go for the Fire Punch, doesn't do much at all. Sorry, I got a burp. My bad. Alright guys, that was my bad. Alright, so he goes for the Outrage again, and I take it quite well. I go for the Sleep Talk again, however, get the Shadow Sneak, which doesn't do much, because it's Shadow Sneak. However, more than Fire Punch, so I'm happy with that, and the Poison is enough to take out Palkia. So he goes into a Staraptor. I can't take it. I don't want my Typhlosion taken because he's my only way of victory. He goes with a Double Edge on Muck, and Muck's dead pretty much. So I go into my Typhlosion thinking that I've lost this because I can't outspeed. Sorry, my brightness went down. Didn't know if you saw that, but he goes for the Brave Bird. I do survive it. Go for the Fire Blast. Do hit it, and the Staraptor is down. So I hope you guys did enjoy this battle. If you did, leave a like, favorite, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Really helps me out. If you want more of these videos, let me know. Let me know what tier you want them in. If you want OU, NU, random, like this little cup, anything you guys want. Yeah, don't have much else to say. This has been Arodiad. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.